Alright, I'm down in my vintage computer lair, and as is oft to happen, things aren't working. So, the astute among you will know that this little symbol here basically means that I'm using a Plus Development hard card, and it's trying to access the hard card, but we haven't booted yet. We finished the memory count, and it's now testing the disk drive controller, and these Plus Development hard cards, at least the 20 megabyte version, which is what is in this 5150, have a couple of different, I guess, sort of boot up scenarios, with the most optimal being it boots up fine. But it seems like due to temperature changes, basically the MFM hard disks lay down tracks almost identically to how floppy disk tracks are laid out, and because the platters in a hard disk are more susceptible to contracting and expanding due to changes in temperature, those tracks become out of alignment with the heads, and different hard disks handle this in different ways. And I guess I don't really have any concrete evidence behind it, but it seems like the Plus hard cards have a way to sort of recalibrate for that, because you can't low-level format them. They're low-level formatted at the factory, and you can format them, but you can't low-level format them. At least not as far as I've been able to tell, or anyone that I've seen on the internet has been able to tell. Obviously, with a regular MFM hard disk, you just low-level format it and you're fine. I mean, you lose all your data, but the disk is still usable. So that's one thing, is it will try to recalibrate itself after a change in temperature, and the other thing is that the head might be stuck, and I've had that happen before too. But either way, we're going to try to troubleshoot this drive. Here's the 5150. I guess I can go ahead and shut it off. I'm going to pull off the top here. I've already removed all the case screws to make this a little bit easier, but I think this case sticks. There we go. And we can take a look at some of the other stuff inside this PC, although it seems like the catch for the case screw is getting caught up on some of these expansion cards, or ribbon cables, I guess. There we go. Hopefully that didn't damage that cable. Not that I'm using the second parallel port. Actually, wait, is that my only parallel port? No, there's a parallel port on the display adapter. And that's what the IBM printer is hooked up to. So, here we have our two, try not to drop the case on my feet, 360K Tandon floppy disk drives. We have, from left to right, an AST 6-pack Plus, a Hercules clone card, Plus Development 20 megabyte hard card, the original IBM disk controller, and a disk copy card, not the deluxe. Basically, this allows you to copy protected disks, and so it intercepts the IBM floppy disk controller, and then you run cables over to your floppy drives. But we need to go ahead and pull out our hard card. This here is the hard card itself. It's a 20 megabyte model, and some basic anatomy here. If you pull this black cover off, you'll basically see that it's connected very similar to an MFM drive of the day. And in fact, there's a hard card, not a Plus Development hard card, but just a hard card, same concept, in that Tandy 1000SX that is literally a off-the-shelf MFM drive on a card. But basically, what we're going to do to try to get these heads loosened up, if I can remember how to put this cover back on. I think I had it right the first time. There we go. I'm going to pick it up, and make sure you're holding on when you do this. Basically, you want to rotate it And this will theoretically get the heads unstuck from the platter. So let's go ahead and reinstall it and see if we've managed to fix it. Okay, the original PC doesn't have a visible memory test. It just gives you a blinking cursor, as opposed to the XT and the AT and pretty much everything after that, which do. And this has been expanded up to 640K, so we're getting pretty much the longest memory test possible. Let's see if that fixed our drive. Well, there's our symbol, which means the hard card is trying to do something. And it's flashing. Or, I mean, it flashed off and then came back on. Can't remember what that little indicator actually does when you're usually booting up. Incidentally, the purpose of that little plus sign is to mimic what the physical LED would do on an externally visible hard drive, or what the hard drive indicator would do on something like an AT. Obviously, there's no really outward LEDs for that, so this is what they did instead. And it looks like we got lucky. The disk was just what I assume was recalibrating itself. Is that the correct date and time? I think it probably is. Maybe a minute or two fast. Go ahead and load up 6-Pack Plus. Not 6-Pack Plus, Sidekick Plus. Same acronym. Let's go ahead and reassemble the stack of 5150s. Alrighty, I've got the stack of PCs reassembled, and there's our boot up process there. This other 5150 has sort of another upgrade path for getting a hard drive and an original PC. Obviously you can do the internal hard card method and keep both of your original drives, or what was quite common was to keep one original drive, have a hard drive, and another half-inch drive. In this case, we have two half-inch drives, our half-inch hard drive, and then a tape backup drive. And then you also could obviously do away with the tape backup drive, as seen with this XT. We have this is a 40 megabyte hard drive. That's a 20 megabyte hard drive. They're both Seagates. Then we have a half-height 5 1/4 inch drive and a 3 1/2 inch drive. But yeah, there's booting up again, loading Sidekick, and let's go ahead and read some poetry.